Hey, and welcome to the Endtimes TCG. And today I'm asking for your help. This morning I woke up early and I have kinda vacation, and I have time to make something. And I was reading about Richard Garfield making Magic the Gathering. What I wanted to know is what what was the game like? What was it that inspired him to make it? And I don't remember, but it was something with galaxy, galactic something. I will link it down below. You have 5 stars, and you can pick an alien race, and you can ally with other people. And so I was reading that, and I was reading how he was making 120 cards for Alpha, and yeah, it I guess it turned out great. And then Magic since then has 30 years of history, I would say. And now I'm coming to the Endtimes TCG, and I'm kind of developing how the game will work out. I'm sorry I cannot show you right now some really flashy things. I have just some sketches and thoughts I have to share with you, and something I wanted to ask you because, and update because. Yeah, well, maybe I have something to show for you because I'm always thinking this is on the back burner, and it plays in the 90s, and I'm calling it the 90s, the millennial wound. What's the millennial wound? I guess maybe in this world, and why this is called End Times, it's because, I don't know if those times were here, but right now it looks like really everything is going to shit, and maybe it always has been this way, but it's always there's also a good feeling, but there's also like a corn freak on the leash, and summer, and people playing guitars, and wrestlers, and like this should capture the 90s and monsters. So this is a fighting game, and this is what I was thinking when I was creating here these cards. It was like, okay, you pick a card, you pick like your commander in Magic the Gathering, you pick a hero like a vampire. This vampire is called Billy the Forgotten, and as you can see, I have a tribe, I have a race. It's vampires, and you will have and as you can see already, I have panel borders, and I want to have the vampires in red, and classy vampires, and cool vampires, and low life vampires, and I'm asking you about maybe I will figure it out on myself because the game will tell me, but I'm open for feedback if you're watching this. How much can I put out on a card? Because we all know there are planeswalkers. I have no planeswalker here because, last time I played Magic the Gathering was in Lorwyn 2008, and then I get out. I have here some White Wolf game Rage, and then you can say, oh, Magic the Gathering invented the Planeswalker. Oh yeah, cool. What does this look like to you? And this is the year 1995. It's a flip. It's not a Planeswalker, but it's kind of flip card, and you can cast here with Rage, Gnosis, and Health. And as you can see, we have here the game is from 2005, I guess. The World of Warcraft TCG, yes, well, maybe it ripped off a bit Magic the Gathering, but there's an ability, you can flip this card and something will happen. But this is not how I want to play it, and you know it already, because I'm thinking more of like Dota, Horn, Heroes of Warhammer, Heroes of New Earth, War Machine, and Hordes. Like for example, I have here. This is like the James Woods type of vampire hunter, and then you have here human vampire hunter, as you can see, and here he gets into, and this is stage 1, and then you flip him, and then here everything is burning, and he's lighting himself a cigarette before he goes to hunt more vampires. And here the classic game will be like you pick a card, you pick something, a hero, a ally, something you like. Let me show you a second what could be available. Yeah, well, you have definitely vampires, you will have humans, you will have sorry for the shaky cam, but I guess like this is a vampire, you will have a vampire tribe, and these guys are all selfish, power-hungry people. This is like ripped off from Vampire, the Eternal Struggle. And then you will have demons from who knows where. And then you will have alien hunters or aliens. This is my Predator rip-off, but don't worry, I will improve on all of that. And so you get a sense that in the first 120 cards you will have some tribal action, and of course werewolves. And what the game then is about, I'm jumping from point to point, but wait a second. Yeah, well, Richard Garfield told in the article I read this morning, he was inspired by Dungeons and Dragons, and he was inspired by this game with a galaxy where you can pick it, and both add to Magic the Gathering. They add up. And here are monsters and humans, and this is what I was always thinking. I'm always thinking in the term of, and I've seen some Planeswalker that have this too, but I'm thinking of MOBAs, like League of Legends, Heroes of New Earth. What if you have a passive, and what if you have 3 abilities, like your Q, W, E, and your ultimate. And when you ultimate, you flip the card, and then, but maybe it's too much. And then, is it just colorless mana you have, or has your hero focus points? Like, let's say you have this vampire here, and this vampire has 5 focus, as you can see here. So you have 5 points to spend. And right down there, you maybe have a right claw, a left claw. Maybe they do something different, like one, I don't know. And the second does a bit of more damage, like one costs just 1, the second costs 2 resource. And then you have a bite, which if he bites, maybe he regenerates life. And Billy the Forgotten is fairly weak. He has only 23 health points. This guy is an old vampire and he has 27. Like, I'm leaning towards this game, but let's say this is like a blade type character and you're fighting vampire versus vampire hunter, and this blade type character, then the question is, are humans stronger, weaker? How much life points does this guy have? Can he make up with armor? Right now I've given him 28 health, and what does he have? And like, his passive is like Blood Addict. And then how do you cast the things he does? Do you cast it with like intelligence, strength, and dexterity? Like, I'm figuring out the game, and I'm curious on what you are thinking. If you have thoughts, maybe nobody will comment, but yeah, here then I have like in Pokemon, you can, it's not necessary that this blade type character, maybe the first question is, how many things can you put down here if you want to also have a flavor text, or is it too much? Like, are 4 abilities too much for a character, or is it possible? Do I cast with some colorless mana, or do I cast with, does he have one intelligent thing, like draw a card? Or maybe, yeah, I don't know, maybe it's draw a card or Or does he have a strength ability where he kicks somebody and it does damage and he stuns the guy? Like, this is pretty much a card game, but in the MOBA genre. It's like Scion has a stun and you cast it and the opponent is stunned. And this is what I want to build also into your equipment. Like, this is very much maybe a MOBA-like card game. And so you see, I'm ripping off a lot of other things, but I'm also staying kind of true to a bit of magic in other games. Or maybe here his dexterity thing, and maybe he makes a blade strike and the opponent starts to bleed. He loses 1 life for I don't know how many turns, or this could be very versatile. And you pick your hero, and your hero is very versatile. Then you flip it, and he gets a bit stronger for the late game. Maybe not even necessary, but this is right now what I have in mind. And well, in addition to this idea, you're still casting. Where is it? You're still casting things from your deck, and you're casting cards and blocking things and having attacks and putting out equipment. And then the question was, how many cards do you draw? Do you draw 2 per turn? Do you draw 1 per turn? But your hero has always the ability to draw 1 card more for 1 resource. So I want more a resource management game that gives you the freedom to put together the deck you really want to put together. It's a different game. It's not Magic. It's not Rage. It's not World of Warcraft TCG. This is very much its own game. And then I was thinking, like, here's your deck, and then you pick a hero, and then you put on armor, equipment, weapons. This is your hero row. Then here comes your allies, and here are your resources. And what you can use as resources, I was thinking today about something cool. Like, what if you... I hope the audio is good. What if... let me see. I was thinking here about Pink and David Finch and Tech on the Rise, Cubicle Jobs, Dead End Jobs, American Beauty. I was thinking about vampires like this from the Smashing Pumpkins song, Robert Rodriguez. So we have a totally different setting. It's the 90s, it's grunge, it's those movies you love. It's Emilio Estevez, Repo Man. It's American Psycho, and sure, it's the Endtimes and it's vampires and werewolves, but it's also American Psycho, and it's Green Day, Basket Case, and it's Blink-182, and it's High School, and it's Aliens, and very much also, if you can put them together, like, what if you have an evil character and he's righteous evil? Can he team up with a good character, and so on? Like, I don't think that a vampire wants to team up with a werewolf, because maybe they hate each other, but maybe there are also cards that are exceptions to the rule. And then we're talking about water control, the dark, pollution. It's Mother Earth crying out. It's really a grim, dark world where we are destroying the world, and the dark is trying to control people through water, through contamination, through the foods, keeping everybody in low vibration. This is pretty much New Age shit, which New Age was 30 years ago, but really the spiritual stuff mixed in with 80s, 90s movies, but then also like the Green Vengeance, and then you have like the Elf Prince Elandriel, who wants that humanity pays for their crimes, like in Hellboy Golden Army. Or maybe you have a mad professor who creates dinosaurs and monsters and plants and viruses, who wants to wipe off humans from the earth. Or you have some green swarms. Like, definitely Gaia is coming back, and it's really, I don't know if this is all in the first 120 cards. Definitely not. I will make sure to keep it all kind of, how do you say, neat and fine, so that you can start to experience the game, and then we will build on that. But I was thinking about, what about the resource pile? And I was thinking it's cool to tap mana, and it's cool to tap specific mana, but maybe some are lands, and I wouldn't call them lands because we're not talking about green mana, blue mana, but maybe a location like a mausoleum, a cemetery. Maybe as a vampire you need a place to sleep, and maybe you don't need it all the time. Like you don't need to have that land draw because the vampire himself has some points, but maybe he's running out at a certain point, out of points, and so it's good to put down a resource. Maybe you'd put down a resource that gives you more resources, but it also gives you a trait. Maybe then you're tough and you cannot be stunned or knocked out, or maybe genetic mutation, or maybe you're swift and you can tap this for a mana, but it also gives you 1 to dexterity, which lets you use an ability on your hero more. Like, it's a lot of ideas, and I'm just honing those ideas. And if you're still watching this video, man, you're a true fan. And yeah, write down the comments below what you're thinking. This was also my final thought, is what I would love to have is like, in Commander, like this would be your commander in Magic. You can pick every card and you play this as your commander. But I would love to, I don't know, maybe, where's the James Woods type character? Here it is. Like, here you have the James Woods type character in John Carpenter's Vampire, and I want him to, this game really much probably is gonna be free to play somehow, and then maybe we're gonna kickstart it, or maybe do a Patreon. But I want this to be also really cool. Like, Padre, can I ask you something? When I was kicking your ass, did it give you wood? And like stuff like this. And how many abilities can I put down here? Like right now I'm thinking about a passive. Maybe it's too much. Maybe it's good to have simplicity. Maybe it's three abilities, 1 intelligence, 1 dexterity, 1 strength, to keep it to that Diablo 1 simplicity, to not make it too complicated, because simplicity is key. And then just to activate with 6 mana your ultimate and flip it, and then you get a better version of this guy. And my idea was, what if you could use this guy as an ally in the ally row, but also as a champion. You know what I mean? If you pick the Padre, you don't pick this guy. But if you pick this guy, you could play the Padre, so I don't have to. In the Versus system, they have like, you get a champion card, but then you get it also as an ally. And I kind of want to avoid that. And maybe it's also cool, like, not to have a champion that has 27 lives and an ally that has only 3 lives. And then you're kind of commanding an army, which could be really cool and which could work fine. Like, let's say this is James Woods, a vampire hunter, and this is the Padre, which kicks some ass. But what if they have similar life stats, and it's more not armies clashing, but teams clashing against each other? Like, here you have James Woods, and here he summons or casts the Padre with some mana. I have to figure out how the resources work. And they're loyal, and then they kick ass versus maybe your team of vampires and your allies, or maybe you have just this Billy the Forgotten and he conjures spells or walls or something like this. Well, this is a long video, but if you can give me some feedback, it's much appreciated. You don't have to. Yeah, those were my thoughts. Maybe for actions it's too much. But yeah. And you know, my last words, because I want to make this game, I think the flavor of the game and the artwork will be so cool, and that's why I want to do it. And yeah, I think it's fresh, and I think it can be really cool and fun. See ya.